And hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience, and welcome to episode 5 of Ampistrano.
Woo!
We missed you on our week off, but we were, doing an amazing thing of helping out Color of Change and raising money for Games for Change weekend. We raised over $3,000 thanks to everybody's participation. And there was even a one shot that was canon for Ampistrano. So it was a fantastic time. The link is still open if you enter an exclamation donate. We are still leaving it open. It'll be open for about another 2 weeks before I close it for our November event. So more fun things happening. But before we dive into the episode, it's one of my favorite parts of the series is throwing it to our amazing cast members to talk about all the ways you can support us. So April, why don't you get us started?
Hello! Hi, I'm April. Did you know I like dice? I like dice a lot. I like stuff. I really like stuff. If you also like stuff and dice related stuff, did you know there's this place called 1985 Games? It's pretty cool. Yeah, you should go there. We're affiliates and gently type in AmpistranoDND. No shouting mine. We don't yell at 1985 Games. They're gentle. And you get a discount. So go get some mystery dice and some dice towers and some really cool dice accessories.
I don't know why it's coming out all high and squeaky, but really.
I'm here
As
for
it gets higher, like faster and squeakier as she gets more and more nervous.
Right?
Amazing. Okay. Thank you, April. Fairbear.
Hi, I'm Fair, and I'm here to tell you about Found Familiar and Friday Afternoon Tea. We are affiliates with both of these amazing companies. Found Familiar they are crafters of coffee and tea, whereas Friday Afternoon just specializes in tea, but the blends are fantastic. A lot of fandom based tea blends from Sailor Moon to D&D and all things in between. If you type in D&D Jordan Lee into your little discount code, you do have to shout this one is in all caps. So like bang on your keyboard, make sure it's in all caps. But if you do that at checkout for Found Familiar or Friday Afternoon Tea, you will get 10% off your purchase.
Finn, I don't have any favorites. Stop it. Stop trying to start that shit in chat.
Wow.
Chili's
Wow.
not spicy enough. It's time to go.
Favorites. Y'all,
There is
Finn
the
is trying
favorite.
to
Just
start
get
a
over
war
it.
here.
Wow.
Speaking of Finn, you're up next.
Hey guys, I would like to tell you all the good uses for wood.
I hate you.
Wood can be used for so many wonderful things, including but not limited to game screens for your favorite DM, dice towers and dice trays for your dice vaults for your DM's favorite players. In case Fair's at your table, because Fair gets instant favorite all the time. Fair's just so amazing. I'm not even mad. Sick. But you know what? It's difficult to use wood correctly. It's difficult to shape it and mold it to where you need it, to where it's useful, and where it gets the job done. You know who gets the job done with their wood? Talon and Claw. Talon and Claw gets the job done with their wood. And I think you deserve to benefit from the good work they do with wood. You should go to talonandclaw.org. It is .org, right? Dang it. If I messed up that URL, then it'd just be a shame because the rest of this was flawless execution, right? Go to Talon and Claw and you will be able to enter our discount code D&D Jordan Lee, all caps. Do not go quietly into that discount code and you can get some amazing, amazing things for your game table. Talon and Claw, they do wood good.
Thank you, Finn.
You're always welcome.
Babs. I'm like so
Oh, hello.
scatterbrained now.
Right? Oh, hello. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Babs the Bad, who will not be here to tell you what that would do. So, I am here to talk about something way cooler, like Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a super fun game that does it all for you. The only thing you need to do is put in the code that we have, which is down at the bottom of our overlay, as well as in chat, to go get an Electrum chest that has really cool loots and swag and stuff in it for your champions. But when you're playing the game, you just add your champion to your formation and then you just let them do their thing. So it's like the best game ever. Minimal effort, but you still feel accomplished, which is great for us neurotypicals. Neurodivergence. I'm not neurotypical at all. Anyways, amazing news. Valentine from Black Die Society is now a champion that you can get in the game. And that's exciting because they're working on getting all of the Black Die Society characters in there. I don't know how many they have so far. I think they have at least 3.
They have all of them but Finn and Brother Uriah. So 2.
Oh, so Mark Mear's character, and I don't remember who plays Finn.
Cypher.
Cypher.
Oh, saving the best for last, in my opinion. So, yeah. So, go do the thing. It's a free code for a free Electrum chest, and the game is free to play. So I feel like it's a win-win here.
Not wrong. Thank you. Couple quick notes before we dive in. As always, want to post a reminder about RoboGoblin. Robo is raising funds to do an all POC journey through Radiant Citadel. 13 adventures, 13 casts, all people of color, one connected story, as Robo puts it. We want to continue to support and give signal boosts to our friend. So please consider helping out in any way possible. They've almost fully funded their 6th adventure, which is amazing to do. So please go and support. As well as, again, to also support, you can enter !Sephi and !Simon to help out 2 incredible individuals that are trying to take the next step in their lives, and we would like to help out in any way possible. As well as a reminder, all of our episodes are getting uploaded to YouTube on Thursdays, so go and support us there. Today is also the last day that we're streaming in July, so we pay our cast through a lot of the subs and bits that come on in. So if you would like to support this show, as well as this fantastic cast, today is the last day to do it for July. There are some things that are in the work that will be coming out in the next week or so, which will be some other ways that you can help support us, because we believe in paying and supporting our cast. So anything else before we get on into stuff? What is happening? Okay. I was like, wait, what? Anything else before we get started? And by started, we're going to play our lovely intro video. Okay, cool. All right. We'll be back right after this, y'all. and welcome back. All right. So, newly met and tested, our adventurers found themselves chasing magical trails after a rogue cart attacked several civilians and exploded, injuring one of their own, Aurea. After some inquiries and respite at one of the local colleges, Astera, the group split, with Sereth, Diodora, Blackstone, and Cal heading back towards the city, encountering a troublesome door and venturing into the caverns beneath. In the meantime, Aurea met with the goddess of the Veil, who divulged that the gem fragments were stealing a person's essence, their soul, and that this has happened once before. With this new knowledge and returned strength, Aurea raced to the group. They found several boxes of tampered magical items set to be delivered to the local colleges, and continued beneath the city until they came upon a chamber with a large crystal, as well as 2 Minotaur and several Crown's guards. Blackstone saw a vision for a moment and came into contact with a voice within the chamber. Though the crystal had some protection and some semblance, the focus shifted to the enemies ahead. A tough battle ensued, with many of the party almost falling until victory was ensnared. As Cal and Blackstone contemplated what to do with the crystal and warned that it may be listening, Diodora and Aurea broke from their game of tic-tac-toe to investigate the bodies, and that is where we pick up. The chamber around you is quieted, as the sounds of battle have ended. Diodora, you begin your search of the larger of the Minotaurs, Norfrin Stonehide. He has on him about 50 gold, as well as that retractable great axe that you saw he pulled out in battle against you and Aurea, as well as several small daggers. Sorry, switching around. Let's see. The one thing that really captures your eye is on his lower back, on the left side. There's a marking of sorts. You're unsure if it's tattoo or some kind of brand, but it's a circle with some kind of dark vine and a chain cutting through. You also find a small brass key.
So I will collect the items because I feel like either, we could distribute the daggers amongst whoever wants them and stuff. And I do like that great axe, so I absolutely want it. But also I'm like, as I'm examining the body and seeing this marking, I kind of just tilt my head because I'm used to people, like, I think where Diodora comes from, like, there are some people who do, like, scarification as like ritual, like as a ritual, it's part of the culture, whatever, but this is different. This seems more like a brand, like maybe what I've seen from like farm animals or something. At least that's how she's interpreting it. And even though, she was just told, don't really say anything out loud, she doesn't have any other means of communication. So she'll just be like, I think you all should come look at this. I don't know what it is. Is it words? It doesn't look like words.
I head over there to take a look and see what's going on over there.
Okay. And I have put the image on screen. It's also in our Discord chat. You might need to scroll up. But you see the same, it's on the lower left-hand side, marking that is on this Minotaur. It was hidden before, but because of the amount of damage and the cuts during the battle, it kind of cut away some of the fabric, so you're seeing this. It is a black kind of circle with kind of a vine work or thorns kind of wrapped around, and then what appears to be a small chain kind of bisecting it as well. Basically cutting the circle into force, although very uneven force.
Do I have any idea what this is?
Roll a history check.
Okay. Oh. Okay, that is a 14 on history.
14. You've seen several images like this to represent whether it be noble houses or organizations, but one is not specifically coming to mind in regards to where this might be coming from, which does give you an answer in itself. This is not a symbol that is widely used, especially in recent history.
Hey, Cal, have you seen anything that looks like this? And I just give him, like, the image of what I just saw.
Ooh, can our telepathy do that? Can we do mind pictures? I love
It's telepathy, so mind pictures.
mind pictures. I love it. Rule of cool. Yes. So it pops up in his head. Should I roll for that one? See if Cal has seen anything like that? Would that be?
Sure. You can roll for it as well.
Should I use? They're the same modifier, but
It would
I
be
think it might change
history
the
if
answer
you're
you give
rolling.
me.
Unless
What's
you're, it would be history. Otherwise, unless you're rolling for, like, are you looking for something Arcana based? Like,
I was gonna say between Arcana, if it was a magical symbol he'd be familiar with, or even religion, if it was a religious institution or religious
Okay.
something. And I feel like my modifiers are the same in all of these. History,
Sure.
Arcana, and religion are all the same. But
I will
I
let you
figured it
choose.
high budget.
I will let you choose which one do you think Cal would do more of.
Cal would go for Arcana first.
Then do Arcana.
Yeah. So that's a 15.
Again, it's not a sigil that's used specifically for like a spell or anything like that. You're not really pulling anything up in terms of that, besides kind of what I mentioned to Sin, like, okay, it's a symbol that has not been used in history, at least recent history. It's not, to your knowledge, pulled to a specific school of magic or anything like that.
How about those thorns? How detailed are those thorns? Can I do nature? Where do those thorns grow?
Why don't
We're gonna get something on this.
I love this? This is gonna be the whole episode. Is literally just gonna be that.
What's
Oh,
the
it's
tattoo,
this-
Jordan?
This CSI.
The door part 2. It's a tattoo now.
Yes, this is gonna be the whole episode. There's not. I will say generally, I'm not gonna make you roll for it. It's not like they're super detailed, because
Damn,
it's
okay.
largely
One shot.
black on that center.
I'm
You can certainly
it's just stylized.
roll- Yeah, you can certainly
Stylized
roll
art.
nature if you want to see like what region this could be.
I
from.
rolled a natural one.
Nope, you have no idea. It's really thorny.
If that's not the dice telling us to just move the fuck on, I don't know what it is.
Yikes.
Wow. Wow, that's true.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm just gonna say this part out loud. I had considered trying to cut this down from the ceiling, but I believe I remembered something very important. The last time something like this took significant amount of damage, it exploded. That might pose a problem in our current state.
Cal is watching very intently on the at the crystal to see if there's any noticeable change or any signs that it has been either listening to the thoughts or hearing all the things that are being said out loud currently.
Nope. It's
I
it's
found a
still
key.
Crystal hasn't moved. There's no like energy bursting forth from it. So yes, as that is happening, Diodora pipes in with,
I found a key. I don't know what it goes to, obviously, because I've never been here before, but I found a key. I also, I took his money. I hope that's okay. Stealing's okay. You guys think stealing's okay? I'm confused.
Well,
it's
on a
not like
current,
stealing if it's a deceased person, is it? I mean,
I suppose on a
Okay,
very
yeah.
practical sense, they won't be able to use it.
oh no.
That's very true. So I found money. I like hand the money over to Oria because I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Question.
And then I'll hand the key to somebody.
I just
Cal
remember.
will grab the key if it's held out, and Cal's looking across these chains to see if there's any. It looks like there's any kind of unlocking mechanism that this key might go to on the chains themselves.
I forgot. I'm actually up there because I'm holding the
Oh,
chain.
right.
Oh, I thought
That's
you were
true.
looking at the Crown's Guard because that's where we left with you.
I think you were about to fly up. And
Okay,
take care of the
so I'm
chain at the
about
end
to
of last
fly up
session,
there.
and we
I'm
had
trying to
not-
remember what happened in game and what we discussed was our plan.
Yes.
Right.
You mentioned as of the end of last session that you were searching the guards and then that you would fly up.
Cool.
So on the Crown's Guard, you find about 25 gold between the three of them, as well as a short sword and several daggers. For the magical user Crown's Guard, if you remember, there was one that had tints of purple on his uniform. You find a small pin of gold, and it is in the shape of a snake. You would probably gather by now, having seen Cal as well as others, this is probably his magic focus. And that's what you find.
Like Theodora probably hand out, like, just throw the short swords and the daggers in a pile for anyone, and look at it. Magical bullshit. Who?
Cal will, if I might.
Yeah,
he'll
I'm
grab
offering to the people who know anything about magic.
the magic focus and do another Arcana check on this one to see if this is any kind of guild that he's heard of or things of that nature.
Sure.
All right, that one's a 21.
Okay. No, it's not a guild or anything like that. It's kind of like your staff. It is just something that was probably important to him.
Right.
And he was just using it as his magical focus. There's remnants of magic, just because an item that's been bestowed with magic in some sort will always handle and have that kind of dreg or memory of the magic there. But other than that, no.
Right. Cal will, stow that. Was there any locking mechanism that Cal could see when he grabbed the key and he started to wonder where
For
it
the
went?
chains on either side, no.
Okay. So whatever this key opens, it has nothing to do with those chains.
No.
Got it.
You can gather from that, no.
Seraph and Cal,
Yes.
Aye.
I am going to require your assistance. So let's just say, in the event that something does go wrong, please restrain me. But I am going to see if I can reach out to the crystal and see what it has to say about, one, how to get it to leave, and to perhaps what its purpose is.
All right.
Cal slowly nods, but then he stands ready, just holding his staff. He knows what he's going to do should things go south.
Seraph is going to cast guidance on you. By putting their hand near your shoulder, and little sparkly stars just kind of float over you. And we'll say, "You've got this." But then we'll pull out the constellation whip in ready to hold you back.
I don't know how to say this except in the most direct of manners, but your presence here is causing a bit of a problem.
It's quiet.
Is that to all of... Oh, you're talking to the crystal.
I believe Jordan.
At this point, I'm
Jordan.
talking to the crystal.
Yes. It's quiet for a couple of moments. and you feel your consciousness trying to make that connection that you did before. And instead, it just feels like you're hitting a brick wall. All you get in response is this deep voice that says, "Know your place." And the whole crystal cracks across the center. Blackstone, I need you to make a wisdom savings throw, please.
You have guidance.
That's a D4, right?
Yes.
Guidance is a D4.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Ooh, I might not need it. That wisdom save,
Yes.
it is a dirty 20.
Okay. You still failed.
Use the D4. Use it.
Well,
Use
here's
the guidance.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and use
Yeah.
that guidance.
It does say you can use it after making the
Yes,
ability
you
check.
can. Go.
Well, I rolled the maximum dice on that, so we are now at a 24.
Okay, you saved, so you'll take
Oh,
half
God.
damage, which is really good, because, oh boy.
Oh no, I can hear all of the dice in Jordan's hand right now.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like a rainmaker, like one of those rain noise makers. Doing math for a really long time.
I luckily rolled low. If you had not saved, that would have been 45 points of damage. You take half of that, as it just feels like your mind is just being pelted by magic. And you're not sure if it's the sound of magical spells sounding off in your brain or if it's the sound of someone screaming. And the rest of you all of a sudden see Blackstone just kind of clutching their head.
Oh, wait, actually, you get one better than that for a second. Because you said half of 45?
Yeah.
And I think that's what rounded up or down, so that would be 22.
Yep. 22 points of damage.
For the audience, for an adventuring party who hasn't taken a rest yet. So what happens is you see Blackstone glowing with energy while talking to the crystal, and actually they're wearing a hood, so you can't really see what's happening over here. There's a moment where just after the crystal starts cracking in half, Blackstone collapses.
Sareth lunges forward.
Blackstone, you also take, along with that, 4 points of spirit damage.
Okay. Hold on. I have a note where I keep that number so I can do things like this. Okay, cool.
Aurea, you would see, having just gotten back from the outskirts of the Vale, as Blackstone hits the floor. It looks almost like fireflies or dust starts drifting from where Blackstone is laying up to the crystal.
Anyone else see those?
No one else sees it, just you.
I think Aurea, as soon as I see those, I'm gonna run over, kind of like others did, and like I'm gonna actually start batting at them. Like, no.
You're grasping for them. They're going through your hand.
That's
The rest of you are just seeing kind of Aurea waving over Blackstone, trying to capture whatever is in the air floating.
I see Aurea doing this, and like I look at her, I'm like, you know, we've been traveling for some time, and I've never seen you do magic. Is that what you're trying to do now?
someone who can heal. Who can heal? So do you not
Cal
see them?
has not seen the firefly dance at all because he rushed immediately over, both hands on Blackstone's chest, because he knows when he sees somebody go down, and just puts both hands on the chest and Kinesieg, and you see the woven the weave work that comes out of him when his spell is cast wrap around him, and he's casting that good old Cure Wounds, which is the D8 time.
And Sereth is also going to cast Cure Wounds.
7 healing from Cal's spell.
And what I would like to be doing as I'm waving my arms and I'm realizing
Another 7.
When Deodora says she can't see them, my wings flap and I'm actually going to cast Fairy Fire in the hopes that these are real and they illuminate and others can see them.
Can you go over Fairy Fire with me, please?
Okay, Fairy Fire. Each object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in blue, green, or violet light, your choice. Any creature in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw. For the duration, objects and affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Any attack against the affected creature object has advantage if the attacker can see it. The affected creature object can't benefit from being invisible.
So as long as they are something on this plane, they should be affected.
Yeah. So if I can see them, they're not invisible.
Correct.
So
you basically have veiled eyes since you just came back from it. So that's why you're a little bit more attuned to it. You see Blackstone light up, you see the crystal light up, and while the fireflies themselves are gone, you can see, the rest of you can see this trail, almost like connecting the dots from Blackstone, weaving their way in a spiraling motion towards where the very tip of that crystal is, the closest point to you as it's kind of hanging in the air.
Cal will, still hands on Blackstone from performing the healing, will whip his head around to Aurea, taking in what she just did. And what did they do to him?
Rebooting.
As soon as he went down, it was like they were... It's like they were taking pieces of him. His spirit. Something that should be going with him to the Veil that he should not be losing.
The same attack that you suffered.
I believe so.
Blackstone.
And Cal will then look straight back up to the crystal, and it looks cracked.
It's cracked on the front of it.
Okay.
It's still whole, but it's more like the crack didn't go all the way through it. It just went through one side, the side that's facing all of you.
Sure.
But before I answer your question, Blackstone, as those screams and dredges of magic explode in your head, and you're basically booted offline in your automaton state, you find yourself amongst the stars, drifting close. But before you get to that comet, that veil that separates you from the other side, a hand kind of touches your right side. And again, you see this ebony-skinned, curly, dark-haired elven woman that you saw for a split second Now's not the time, Rory. As you back. Basically, I imagine Cal was kind of hanging on to you, like bringing half up to do the healing, and Cal and Sereth are surrounding you with light from their healing, as well as now Oria's fairy fire as well.
Did I can't remember this April game explain to you about the stones using spirit for power when I got back?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
You did.
Okay, good. Okay, just making sure, because that's what I was alluding to with the fireflies. You all
So-
understand that.
Oh yeah, you told us that before you even arrived from
Okay,
the
good.
headmaster's office.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I took notes. But
I did too, but they're all disjointed from different notebooks shoved into this one notebook now.
I feel you. Right. Well, I believe the word that you use for whatever is in the crystal is, I don't know, arrogant, maybe?
But are you?
Hostile, for certain.
But are you all right? Are you still with us? Are you still Blackstone?
There's a moment of both pause and amusement at the thought of Blackstone being a being that could answer that question. Well, I suppose as much as I ever am.
Did you?
Oh, it broke.
Oh, it did indeed.
But it didn't explode, at least.
No, it didn't. It might have harmed itself in the process. It might have abandoned its shell. Whatever was living inside the crystal could have abandoned it in the process. But there's so many possibilities. We need to get this stone back. We need to get. Never mind.
So
Never mind.
How about why don't I show you what I saw, and then we can figure out what to do with it.
But before that, and that's when like Cal just does full-on hug on Rory real fast, and she's like, "It's all right. It's going to be all right. You're back with us. Whatever happened on the other side of that, we'll face it. We'll deal with it." And he says that just basically only loud enough for Rory. And then he comes back, and he's like, "Right, sorry. Matter at hand."
DM, out of character question. Is Rory aware that spirit energy is missing?
What do you think? I mean, Aurea came back with that knowledge. You are aware now at this point that these crystals, in fact, the one that you came in contact with, the objects that are upstairs, are the same crystals that was on the carriage, for all intents and purposes. So it's a logical explanation to possibly make that connection, but that's obviously up to what you think Blackstone would kind of gain from that.
Well, okay, so my thoughts are the following. I think if I were conscious when that happened and I could feel the energy leaving, I would be aware. But it was a moment of I came in contact with this thing and it spoke to me, and then I was rendered unconscious.
Well, do you want to do some kind of medicine check on yourself or something? Because to kind of give you this, with Aurea, when she lost a bit of spirit, she lost the ability to fly and the coloring in her wings.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use this as an opportunity to kind of take stock of what you're feeling, where you're at.
Okay, well,
Run a system diagnostic.
Yeah,
I
basically.
was going to say those words exactly.
Run a
so,
Windows update and
oh,
see what
It
happens.
also did knock mine down to like 2 when it knocked mine down. So if you had a super high spirit, it might not be the same as like when I was down to
So
2.
what do I need to roll for that diagnostic?
So that'd be a medicine check.
That is a 17 on medicine.
Medicine. Okay. Your circuitry is largely fine just because you didn't take as much damage in the heat of battle. Where is the crystal that powers you up?
Where would it be?
Would it be in your chest cavity? On your back?
I think it would be, something. Let's make this a vision moment. It's on my forehead.
It's on your forehead. Okay. Okay. So as you're doing your systems diagnostics, the gem that is on your forehead has dimmed quite a bit. You can still see it's fluttering almost like a heartbeat, but the heartbeat's coming in slightly slower. It's still strong, but it's just slower. You can feel that as you're moving, it takes a lot more energy to kind of move. We'll say that the crystal just goes in looking at your art. It's not really exactly on your forehead, it's more behind your eyes, and that's what's giving that glow. The rest of you see through Blackstone's mask, because you're still wearing your mask, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Their eyes have dimmed slightly. They haven't grayed, but they're just not as bright and focused as they were before.
There seems to be something somewhat amiss, but I think this is what all of you take naps for. Also, right, so, and I have, like, my eyes make laser beams. They are in it is a large, 15-foot cube. And you see, a replica of the crystal and Blackstone. And at the point that the crystal cracks in the image, everything explodes into what looks like a galaxy of some kind. There are just a lot of stars here. And there is this long-haired, long, dark-haired elven woman. And there is a conversation that they have, but you can't hear the words. And then the whole thing disappears.
Was that, so am I getting this right, that was basically looking like an R2-D2 style hologram in front of you for us?
Mm-hmm.
Drix pops out of the spell book and, oh, who's that? I like her. What are we doing? Are we playing moments?
Oh, and one more thing. And with the image still held up there, it rewinds. You just see, it's a digital rewind to the point where the crystal's talking. And just before the crack happens, another text box appears with subtitles. The subtitles are stylized and have really sharp edges. And it says, "Know your place." And then the text starts vibrating before the crystal cracks. I would say that the crystal is still hostile. I don't know if angry is the correct word, but definitely hostile.
Cal slowly looks around, and it could still be here, though. We don't know if the mind of the crystal is still in it, or if the crack released it. We should
I think it's definitely still there. The mine that I came in contact with seems to be very heavily fortified one. There is a wall. It doesn't also seem to be very interested in going much of anywhere. If anything, it seems that it feels that we should move instead.
Right. With Cal's telepathy, is he picking up on the fact that the mind is still definitely there? Like, he's not reaching out to communicate because he saw that's a bad move. But can he tell that when a mind is there, especially one that he's tried to connect with before because he did so in the battle earlier?
You can tell for at least now, while it might be there, it's not present, if that makes sense.
Or sort of like a dormant?
Yes.
Okay.
It's basically, it's gone dormant for now. You can still sense the presence of something, and even through that telepathic link that you and Blackstone have shared, you also heard the screaming of magic spells firing off. You got the it wasn't as intense because you were kind of getting that second hand, but you were getting the same kind of feeling of firing off spells, but it also sounds like screaming.
Oh, then Cal will kind of like shift his weight to help Blackstone sit up, more than like, leaning back on Cal if they are still in that posture, and he'll lean back to help Blackstone sit up on his own. He'll stand up, and as he does, he grabs his staff and, well, then let's hope it's still sleeping. And he just gestures up with his staff, and you see the green weave come out of the end of his staff, but as it gets closer to the crystal, it becomes more closer to white and blue, and as it strikes the crystal becomes encased in ice. Rhymes binding ice. So I know that mechanically this is more about movement of creatures, but in my head, I'm picturing he basically just gave it an insulating ball of ice that it's in now.
Yep. And you can see, unlike when you and Blackstone were moving those tempered objects upstairs, the spell takes place. It doesn't get absorbed into the crystal.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Cal, cast that spell, case in ice, and he's, slightly shaken, but looking around at his friends, and that's about the last of the spell casting I can be doing for a while now. However, if we can cut this thing down, load it up in one of those boxes, and Blackstone, if we can contact the headmaster to send help, a delegation, someone to come clear out these findings, maybe we could get to the bottom of this, but we need to contain that.
I will say, Cal, just because it's been almost 2 weeks since we played,
Sure.
The boxes upstairs are too small to carry the crystal that is hanging.
Okay, I thought we had...
Yeah, this is a big
big
one. It's a big one.
It's been a minute.
I thought we had said that like one of the empty boxes back upstairs would hold it, but maybe that was just me remembering.
That was you.
But no, he's got it encased in ice at least, and I don't know if it's safer to leave it hanging up there until someone can come meet us, or if we can try to shift it. But hopefully, for the moment, it's held.
Maybe we should split up for the moment. So, why don't we have the fastest of us go back to the headmaster and see if we can arrange some kind of transport. Perhaps she has access to some type of teleportation that we could use to move the crystal.
Most of the schools have some kind of system of transport. If we're sending a messenger to the professor, perhaps stopping in at Lyros and contacting Pettyweather as well, it's quite a matter of import to both schools, seeing as they were both targets.
I don't think the communication will be the problem, but speed at this moment might be. Well, would I know who? I'm just going to ask the DM this question. Would I know who the fastest among us is at the moment?
I mean, Oria got to you pretty quickly.
Got
but
wings.
That would be, at this point, Blackstone, it's what you've seen happen in battle.
Okay. Then, of course you would. Cal, may I have a piece of paper, please?
Of course. And he'll reach into his pack and just pull out a small roll of parchment.
Sarah, do you have a writing utensil?
Always. And he just waves his hand, and he's got the glass quill and hands it over.
How do you write with this?
Oh, it makes its own ink, it does. So don't worry about it. Just press it to paper and you make your marks.
So I write a message. The message explains that there are crates of tampered magical wands. It explains that there is a large crystal currently encased in ice. It lists all the people who are currently here if she decides to use sending. It also gives the route by which we got here, as best as I'm able to describe it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh, it must be storming real bad.
We got storms in the area of our Oria. In the
So,
area of Oria, there are storms.
Who I imagine was just kind of like, well, let there be no delay, and immediately takes the parchment and leaves.
Yeah, we'll say that. I will fix the overlay in a moment. But yes, you can easily say that she takes off. You can see that she still does not have her full range of flight yet. So she tries to take off, and her wings kind of flap against the air that she is making, but she's not able to get completely off the ground, and she's just like, fine, and she'll just take off running as quickly as she can. What do the rest of you all decide to do as I work on fixing the overlay real quick?
I asked you in DM, but then April dropped. In the Zoom team. This layout of the room, is
Yes.
there's only just that one door that we came in that we
Only
know
the
of?
one door, but if you remember, there was a hallway that you went through
Yeah.
that had two doors on the left and one on the right.
That was going to be my next question. So, while they're sort of going over all this stuff about the crystal and stuff, the magic and whatnot, all this stuff, like,
It's above,
Theodora knows
yeah.
the crystal is bad, but everything else is sort of just way above her. But she remembers the key, and she'll get the key back from Cal, and maybe just go investigate those other rooms, because that's something that she can do.
Sure.
Where she doesn't know she can't do anything about this crystal except bash it, which is not a good idea. So
Did the keys seem magic at all? Because
No, there was no
Theodora comes to
magical
get the key from
essence
Cal,
to-
he's gonna,
There was no magical essence to the key, no.
got it. Just making sure that Theodora was safe with it. It wasn't gonna be some kind of trapped key that
No.
went off on you. So,
Yeah.
right, and then Cal will sit down if we're all waiting. He's gonna stick pretty close to Blackstone, but he's going to pull out the pearl that we got before, and he's going to start the ritual for identify on the focus that the was it the Kingsguard had?
Crown's Guard, yes.
Crown's Guard, yeah. He's going to start the ritual for identify on the serpentine focus we got off the Crown's Guard, just to see if there are any properties that would be either useful or illuminating.
Okay. Again, magic focus. You get the school is the school of enchantment from it, but that's about it. You don't really get anything else.
Right. No special properties or anything.
No. Nope.
Right.
It's just a focus, and that's about it.
what I imagine happens whenever he does cast the ritual for Identify is that he holds the object in one hand and the pearl in the other. And as the longer he chants the ritual for Identify, the pearl starts glowing and then starts orbiting the item that he's trying to identify until finally it returns to his hand and he gets basically a mental input of, everything you just said, that it's nothing out of the ordinary in terms of arcane foci.
We shift the camera. Sereth, are you going with Theodora? Are you staying? What is Sereth doing in this time?
Remind me where Theodora was going?
Theodora's heading back to that hallway that you all walked through before entering this chamber.
Got it. Okay. I think Sereth would go with Theodora.
Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, Sereth's pretty tapped in terms of magic, and so, yeah.
Okay.
All
right. The two of you make your way back out of this chamber to the hallway. There is one door, because now we're switching the focus. One door on the left, and there are two doors on the right. You can tell, Theodora, that the door on the right is the one that has the lock.
Yeah, she'll look to Sereth and say, should we just open that door, or do we want to check out these other rooms first?
So the door with the lock is the one that we originally came through?
No.
This is a different door.
Oh, different door. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one that you came through is straight ahead.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, given our history today with door locks, I would prefer not to trigger any more traps. So let's check out the one that doesn't have a lock on it.
I think in Theodora's head, she's like, but we have a key. But then she also, again, magic completely above her head. Traps that are not about like hunting, kind of like beyond her. So she's like, she'll just kind of defer to Sereth's like wisdom here because, like, they saw how nasty that other trap was, and like, yeah, it worked out pretty okay, but you just never know, especially with that bad crystal in the room.
Yeah,
Sure.
like even if we had a key to that original door, we still had to get through the trap.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
You head to the doors that are on the right, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
The room itself, both of them you see they're kind of matching. It's just a room full of cots. It looks like this was probably where they were sleeping. You do see that same, Theodora, you would see it first, that same sigil is carved into the wall of that thorn kind of mess.
Okay. So based on like that, it like being like carved into the wall, I assume it's pretty big.
It's not that
So
big.
It's not that big?
No. It's honestly about like the size of like a plate.
Okay.
Like a medium-sized plate. And it's carved just above where they would sleep.
Okay. I guess like Theodora would wonder if that's like maybe it's not like a magical symbol, it's like the symbol to some sort of organization, because that seems to be what we're dealing with here anyway. And like she understands, like, when you're branded on a farm, that means you are part of that farm, and so it's kind of similar. It's like you are part of this organization or group or cult or whatever it is. It kind of just seems like that's what we're dealing with right now, just based on it being on a wall in a room where a bunch of people sleep. It's not like someone's art project.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
No, I was getting ready to yawn.
Oh,
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I think Theodore would back out of the room and then check the other unlocked room, or presumably unlocked room.
Okay. Same thing. It's the other set of cots. So there were basically 2 in that first room. You can gather that probably, based upon the beds, the smaller of the Minotaur, as well as one of the Crown's Guard, was in there. And then in the other one is the rest of the Crown's Guard. You can see that there's armor in there. That's about it. Again, same exact kind of layout as the other room.
But we don't see a bed that would have fit the bigger Minotaur.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so if there's beds in these rooms, the chances of there being a trap on that other door is very slim, knowing where we're at now. So if you think one of the keys might unlock it, we can...
I think, and this isn't something I'm really familiar with, but I think that, we got through the big trap, and if they were going to put another trap anywhere, it would have been on the room with the crystal, maybe?
That's true.
Because that seems more the most important thing, but I will be honest, I don't really know 100% what's going on here. It all seems, I don't do magic, and so it's kind of just in one ear and out the other, but I know that it's bad, so
yes. I don't know what they have planned, unless it's something as obvious as they're just gonna try and steal everyone's magic. But that seems like the easy answer.
Are they with those items, yeah, they were stealing magic, but with this crystal, it's like they're stealing souls.
Right.
So,
But for certain magic users, a lot of it can be tied together.
Seems dangerous, but I suppose lots of things in the world are dangerous. I mean,
Yes.
when you go hunting in the woods, you never know what you might find.
When you go sailing on a ship, you never know what you might find.
Well, let's check out this room, and then maybe we'll get more answers, because
Maybe. If it's locked, it might be important.
yeah, there'll be somebody there I could fight, because I don't really have anything else to do. Just kidding.
Well, I'm pretty tapped when it comes to everything I can do. But we will see.
I'll go open the door. Can I guess Theodore would maybe do check for traps,
Sure.
if
Go
she
ahead
can,
and do a check then.
is that investigation or what is that?
That'd be investigation in your case. Yep.
Okay. Not great. I didn't roll that bad. It's just a 12 though.
Okay.
I don't add anything to
Doesn't seem like it's trapped, just locked.
No. it. Seems fine to me. Just kidding. Okay, yeah, I'll unlock it.
Alright.
I'll make sure to sort of, I'm not that tall, but use kind of my body as much as possible to block the door, just in case something happens, and that way
Sure.
I could take the brunt of it,
Okay.
because I'm
As
pretty hardy.
the key goes into the lock, you feel the door give way, and you're in a room. The door's fine.
Okay.
You're in a small 10 by 12 room that has a wooden bench on the right side. There is a much larger cot towards the back, again with this sigil. On the bench itself are several pieces of parchment and ink, as well as what would most likely capture both of your attention. There are 2 figurines on the bench of weeping willow trees that have an amber base with purple, blue, and red small crystals acting as the leaves. The trees are about a foot and a half tall and wide. And that's what you find.
You said the leaves were purple, blue, and what color?
Purple, blue, and red. So, but there are 2 relatively large figurines that are on the table. You all
Are we talking like bonsai tree size?
bigger?
Bigger?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Think of honestly that Tiamat figurine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To give you a perspective, that's how big it is. They look very delicate, very intricately crafted. That's all that you find in this room.
Are the crystals hanging, or are they
It's literally like a
like it's
weeping
carved?
No, it's a
Okay.
weeping willow. So there's some kind of metal that's holding and acting, and then the crystals are kind of draped, kind of if you've seen weeping willows, how
Right.
they are with the leaves.
Right. So basically it was going to be is it one of those figures that technically the branches and the leaves can move, or is it all one piece?
No, the leaves, everything
Okay.
can move.
Okay. Sareth will then go over and look at the parchment on the bench.
Okay. The parchment itself is blank. Doesn't look like anything's been written on it. You can tell, though, that it is weathered, so it probably was underneath something, or how when you write something, rip the paper off, sometimes it leaves that behind, but that's really all you're getting. There's nothing that's actually written on the parchment itself.
Okay. Sareth is gonna turn to Deodora and be like, well, should we ruin their day just a little bit and steal all of their paper?
Well, I've seen Cal use a lot of paper.
That's true. Between Cal and myself, we might actually need this paper.
I would look and I would not see any markings that to me indicate writing.
No.
But you said there's indentation from writing from on parchment before then?
Yeah, so if you imagine kind of when you use your legal pad or a notebook, it sometimes leaves indentations behind.
Yeah.
Then yes, there are some kind of, as you would, let's say, run your fingers across the parchment, you can definitely tell that there's indentations, but it's kind of hard to tell exactly what it might be. That's not only just for Deodora, but if Sareth did the same thing, it would be the exact same kind of feeling. It's hard to tell what it would be.
If Sareth noticed that, are the writing utensils, are they quills and ink, or are they okay, so then, and is the floor dirt?
The floor is a mixture of dirt and kind of stone tile, because you're in one of the lower dungeons underneath Ilopan.
Okay.
It's not quite the catacombs, but it's
Is
adjacent.
Is the dirt the type of dirt that it's a little damp and it might Okay, so
I was hoping you would do this.
Yeah, so realizing that there's indentations on it, Sareth would like to take some of the dirt and rub it across the indentations to try and get it to bring up what the indentations say.
Sure. So you get a fistful of this dirt and spread it across the parchment. It's a little bit difficult to read, so I'm gonna have you roll a perception check, just because this is one of those papers that was at kind of like the bottom, so a number of different writings were kind of interjected over top of it.
I'm gonna cast guidance on myself.
Do it.
Can I do that?
Yeah. You should be able to cast.
It's a willing creature. It's just a willing creature.
Yeah, and it's a touch spell, so.
Yep. So you should be able to.
Cool.
I feel good. I feel great. I can do this.
That is, I shit you not, a natural 20, and I rolled a 4 on my d4.
Nice job.
Nice.
So that is a total of 29.
Nice. Okay. Wow. All right. So with this,
Tell me what it says.
as the dirt settles onto the parchment, the following kind of pops up, and it's not in a specific order because again, this was kind of at the bottom. You see that there was a note that these trees need to be delivered to Astera and Lyros, that they're expecting another shipment from the Jinora wetlands.
Will you spell that for me?
Jinora, Jinora. Wetlands. In the next 2 days. And then the next would be something that is more of an encoding. But Seraph, since you are attuned to the stars, you would know that this is a specific time and date.
Okay.
The date is essentially 2 days away at sunset, where you know that there's usually a big ceremony to bring in the harvest clothes.
Okay. Does that have anything to do with the party that's happening up in the town?
It's a harvest festival party, so yes, you can gather that they are definitely correlated.
Okay. And then you said that these trees need to be delivered to, what were the schools again?
Astera, Astera, which was the school that you all went to when Aurea was injured.
Right.
And Lyros, which is one of the schools that is in Ilopan, that you've heard about. You've heard Cal mentioned it.
Yeah.
But that was about it. You don't really know too much else otherwise.
Okay. Okay, and did it say another shipment of trees?
It just said another shipment.
Okay. Okay. And I can and Sarah can probably correlate that another shipment is also going to correlate with the sunset thing in 2 days.
Yes. You can gather based off of those notes. Yes.
Do I know anything about the Jinora wetlands?
Why don't you roll a history check to
Okay.
see?
Have you said any of this out loud?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So, Theodore's just standing there.
Finn, I just noticed your background.
That's an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
It's a wide, expansive area that is largely unmarked. You do know that there are several outposts of towns, like Shady Hollows is the last one before going into the wetlands specifically.
Okay.
There's been reports of people going missing, but it's often used as a tale to tell children to go to bed, or else like the things from the wetlands will come and get you, kind of thing.
Got it. Got it.
Not really sure.
Okay. Then at that point, once Seraph kind of like gets all of the information and all of that, they will start relaying all of this to Deodora. And then we'll ask if Deodora knows anything about the Jinora wetlands.
I will roll for it. Is it a history or?
It'd be history, yes.
Well, no. Not one.
Oof.
You know, because of your training, don't go there unless you're ready. Like, that was something that I'll give you this with the nat one. Based upon your experience and who you trained under. Because they have been to the Genora wetlands. They told you that you should not go unless absolutely necessary.
Okay. I'll relay that information and just say, my pack, we travel a lot, but we've never ventured there, so I've never seen it.
Okay.
I've been told it's not to go there.
Then why? Then they must be bringing in something really dangerous. If it's coming from this place that no one wants to go.
Maybe I was never given details on why it should be avoided. Just told not to go unless it was necessary. And it's never been necessary, so I've never gone.
Yeah, all I know about it is that it's mostly a scary stories to tell in the dark kind of thing for kids. But we really should have Cal identify one of these trees.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they have the crystals on them.
Are these the same type of crystals that we picked up from like the carriage and stuff like that?
I will say, based upon your experience, because I'm not going to make you roll for it, no.
Okay.
Theodora doesn't trust shiny gems at this point. No.
These appear. Why don't you go ahead and roll an Arcana or a Nature check for me, just so we can make it completely fair.
Yep. A 4.
They seem fine.
Okay. I mean, I'm still sketched out.
Sure. No, you can be sketched out, but be like,
yeah.
Oh, well, maybe they're okay.
I mean, if these are being delivered with all of the other... These are being delivered, like, the stuff that is outside that we came across first, like the wands and the books and all of that, that's going to the same colleges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so if these are going to the same places that all of the stuff out there is going, I don't trust these trees. That they're also not something dangerous.
Yeah, it seems like for whatever reason, and maybe it's to steal magic, and maybe it's to steal souls, and maybe it's both, they're just targeting the students in the schools. It's hard to say why. Like, what is... I was hoping we would find something here that would tell us, but maybe it's bigger than even this person. And he was pretty big, but...
Are the professors and stuff at the colleges, are they like some of the most powerful magic users?
Yeah, next to the capital. Yeah. I mean, Ilopan is another, to put it in real world, it's kind of like Jorix, which is the capital. That's London.
Got it.
Ilopan is Oxford. It's the next adjacent, still really good, but it's a unique, different way. But yes, it's very powerful. Magic is done in Ilopan, and curating that magic as well, because they do it a different way than how they do it in Jorix.
Got it. Maybe they're not targeting the students, because all of this will have to pass through the professors first. And the professors are much more powerful than the students. And if they're targeting the 2 colleges out here, maybe this is a trial run before they hit the capital.
Maybe. Again, this is above me, but if it means if we need to protect people, that I'm here for it. I don't know much about magic, but I can fight okay. Flashback to me chopping off multiple people's heads in the last fight.
How far down the hall are Cal and Blackstone?
Not far.
Okay. Diodora, can you hold down the fort long enough for me to run one of these trees to Cal?
Yes, and she starts doing the pacing again.
All right, Seraph, why don't you do a strength check to pick these up?
Oh, God.
Because these are a bit heavy.
Oh, you're trying to pick up the trees?
Yep.
No! Just straight strength?
Yep.
A 6.
Okay, you go to lift. Lifting. Diodora, you're just waiting for her to actually lift it up. Well, lift it up, rather.
I'm just watching. Do you need help?
It might be best if you take this to Cal.
Okay.
Just be very gentle with it, because I think it might be very easily breakable.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I knocked this over. Strength?
Mm-hmm.
21.
Okay.
Yep.
It's right up immediately. Diodora has no problem lifting this thing. It's
There's
just
just-
got
is
a
it just
weight
the-
to it.
Yeah. Is it just the one tree, or is there two? There
are
trees?
2 trees, yes.
Can I just?
But we're just
pick
taking
both?
the one.
Can I- Oh, okay. I was like, can I just take both?
You want to try and take 2? Oh boy. I'm gonna say because of the width, that's gonna be a little bit difficult because they're about a foot wide.
Okay.
So unless you're gonna try and be our guest at with the trees,
Okay. Well, I did get a 16 on that second roll.
okay. You can kind of lift up the second one. It's a little bit more
Just
of a struggle to kind of balance.
Yeah.
You can feel that the one that got the 16 may not be holding as well, and you can start to hear it cracking slightly as you're trying to juggle these two.
I'll put that. I'll put it down. I put it down.
Amazing. All right. And you're going towards Cal, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Sorry. I was like,
Nope.
every time a DM asks a question, I'm like, fuck.
No, I'm just making sure.
Me.
All right. You exit the chamber.
I go home, actually.
You go home? Okay. Diodora just pieces out. You exit the room you're in the hallway, and you head back into the chamber. And that is a great time for us to take our 10-minute break.
Woo!
Woohoo! So, get up, everybody. Go get some hydration, all that jazz. And we will be back at it soon with more things. We'll see. All right. See you in a moment.
But
Why?
Late hits on the butts there.
Why do you do this to me? All right,
Because
everybody,
we lie.
welcome back. Sorry for the delay. A few of us were checking in on our Monkin Fairy, April, who's unfortunately going to be out for the remainder of the episode because weather. Sereth really just, packed some powerful Tempest spells and just kind of happened. So, but welcome.
Sereth cast Power Word Kill on Oria's internet.
Yeah. But we are going to pick up. The adventuring party is now investigating this underground dungeon / cavern where a battle was happening. Deodora and Sereth were investigating several rooms that were back in the hallway where they came from and found a large 2 crystal trees, weeping willows. But before Deodora joins back into the main cavern, we pan to Blackstone and Cal having, I guess for all intents and purposes, a short rest, and kind of broing it out and having a conversation. What are the two of you doing?
Cal would first have, finished up the ritual of identification he had just cast, because it probably didn't really finish until Sereth and Deodora had actually made their way out of the chamber. But as soon as it is over, Cal would shift his focus to Blackstone but are you all right? Oria, she had some lingering effects of her encounter. Are you feeling like yourself?
In a general sense, I'd say so. Although, considering that we ran into a crystal that steals souls from people, maybe I should have that more properly checked out at some point once we leave.
Would be probably best if the headmaster had examined Oria, perhaps at the very least could see if there was similarities in your condition and hers following this attack. But
I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't take notes. She does like taking notes on things. Actually, I imagine that would probably be a significant trouble for her not to take notes.
Oh, can relate to that. And that's when Cal is gonna very...
Cal, are you okay?
What's up?
Cal, are you okay?
I'm fine. It's the majority of my research doesn't tend to require this much field work, I suppose you should say. I'm acquainted with travel from place to place and walking and hiking and things of that sort, but I tried to take safer routes in the past, and I just was worried that you wouldn't restart. I'm sorry if that's not the right term for it, but I've seen organics go down and be revived, and I wasn't sure that you yourself could be revived if the lights went out. So just worrisome is all it was. I was just worried about the way you went about it.
Oh, well, are you still worried about that?
I mean, you seem to be here, so that's good marks on surviving. But I just every time I've told you to be careful in the past, I was mostly worried about you hurting someone else. And now all of a sudden I find myself wanting to ask you to be careful so you don't get hurt yourself. There's things that maybe you can't always outsmart.
Oh, well, I suppose that's fair. But then again, I guess that's what the lady at the... Well, I'm not sure where that was, but I guess that's why she sent me back.
Right. She
also didn't call me Blackstone. I wonder how she knows these things.
Oh, being a deity of the Veil, I would expect she would know quite a bit. Whether or not she can perceive our plane of existence and just knows it by seeing, or likely could have just plucked it from your mind. Your mind did have to cross her veil.
I suppose at some point I should find out who that is.
Oria seems to be closely connected. I feel like she'd be the one to interview on the Lady of the Veil.
I wonder if Ori would know. But then again, I'm not sure. She seems... You know, Cal, she seems familiar, but I can't put my finger on why.
Did you trail a ferry convoy?
No. It's... old. I think that's the only word I know for that now.
So this isn't the first time you've nearly passed through.
I'm not... How do I say this? I'm not sure that the person you're talking about and the person I saw are the same, but it seems that they're both elven. Maybe I should learn more about elves.
Couldn't hurt, I suppose.
Do we have time for that?
Well, at the moment I don't have a lot of research tools. I don't keep guides or pamphlets to elves with me generally. But there would be the library at Lyros would of course have much of the histories.
You know something, Cal? You have been at researching things for a very long time. Do you happen to know about somewhat hostile entities that have been trapped in crystals?
Already rolling this history check to see if Cal has ever come across anyone's writings about it, because I'm
Sure.
assuming that Cal's background knowledge would only be if someone had put something in a book. And that came to a total of 10.
No. You're more familiar with your background,
Right.
with Cal's, of when... I'll let you describe it because we've had that discussion already.
Right. Well, it's difficult to say. My people, our skin, our being is gem-like in essence. We're born from the earth. We came from it, and we're molded and shaped out of it. They say you shouldn't leave a dragonbert egg on the surface. It won't be grounded. It's even thought that while our eggs are incubating, that we are just simply pulling minerals from the earth to form what we are. But I know of beings with gems in them, with gem material as part of them, but this would be a first for finding a gem that was knowledgeable of its own. Not a mind with a body made of gem, but a mind that was a gem. It's not how we see it. It's not the way we know it. In fact, there were most of our folk that pass away, the gem shine leaves them. They become stones that are more the plain is the wrong way to say it. They become stones that are more foundational, more sturdy than a gem. Some even become, I've heard, some turning into entire trees. My home is supposedly built underneath Siderak, who became a tree upon her passing, but I've never run across anyone saying that gems were, other than the mistaken notion that you could draw magical gems from, pardon me, Dragonbarth's carts. There was a time when we were hunted, Grandad says, by those that mistakenly, of course, thought that you could do such a thing. But I've never heard of someone either pushing a brain into a gem or drawing one out of it. It all needs a little more research. It's not one that would have drawn my eye till now.
Processing this, it seems that we might have to do more studying than we've ever had to do prior to this moment. Intriguing.
Right. You did send the notes to both. Sorry, DM, but the
I sent a note to Astera.
Astera. I was looking for a Deidre. Freshman. Okay.
Deidre is the headmaster.
Headmaster Warrington.
Yes.
You sent the note to Headmaster Warrington as well as Pettyweather, right? Is that correct?
No, because Borea is only one being. But I believe Headmaster Worthington would be able to communicate with everyone accordingly. And will probably very much want to. She was concerned when we spoke earlier, but I think she was also upset. Perhaps angry.
Right.
And it was at this moment the door to the chamber opens as Deodora comes clambering in with this foot and a half crystal tree, a weeping willow.
Okay, now about weeping willows, because I've been at Astera for forever. Would I know, would I have seen these trees there often or anything?
They're not here. You would know based off of what you were taught at Astera that these are often trees found in the wetlands or in more remote areas. It's not something that's super common here.
Okay, not a native plant.
No.
Cool.
And it's a crystal. It's not an actual plant. But the design is based off of an interpretation of a weeping willow.
Well, that is a rather large piece of crystal. Hopefully is not as hostile as this other one.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm touching it, and I don't know. Sarah said I should bring this to Cal so Cal could look at it.
And
Oh, was this from one of the other rooms in the hall?
Oh yeah, it's from Big Beefy's room.
Oh, the person with all the guards in the pocket.
Would that make it the meat locker?
Yes.
I hate y'all.
I'm pretty sure Diodora nearly drops the tree from chuckling at that.
That was not something Cal would have ever said. Cal is not that into it.
Don't tempt me, Sin. Don't tempt me.
So, Cal will stand up. He has been, sitting next to Blackstone that whole time. Full HP, by the way, DM. I rolled my short rest dice. Just wanted to keep that above board. And so he will walk over to where Diodora has the tree, the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead, set it down, dear. We can take a look. And you said that it was red, blue, purple. Like that's the kind of.
Yep. So to describe it again,
Sure.
it is. Let's see. Figurine of a weeping willow that has an amber base that goes up with purple, blue, and then ending with red small crystals acting as the leaves.
Right. All right. Well, Willow. I wouldn't know where this particularly came from, but these are symbols of psychic power. Among circles, I would know.
There's another one. I just couldn't bring them both because it's kind of awkward.
Oh,
But Sarah said there were some papers with writing, kind of, and these were supposed to be delivered to the schools.
Right. Oof.
You're muted, Sin.
Said, maybe this was the thing that the headmaster was expecting.
Right, you did mention that she was expecting something.
She was, and well, trees make a lot of sense, especially considering that, well, she has an earth genasi and everything else. This wouldn't necessarily be the strangest thing that Astera has seen, but, and probably more to the point, she wasn't expecting boxes of wands, and we found boxes of the thing, or at least, well, not the box, but maybe this weird thing might be more along the lines of what she was hoping to get at the building. You know something? I'll just ask her whenever Aurea delivers her message.
Right. So how about this? We mentioned doing some research, so let's try this identify spell again. See if it will find anything on this that it didn't find on something as mundane as the key. But just as a precaution, Cal will look up at Sereth, because at this point he knows.
Sereth is not here.
Oh, Sereth did not come back.
Is in the other room.
That's right. All right, so he will, just basically. Does anyone have any medicine, potions of healing, or the sort? I know that it'd be. I have to maintain contact with this thing, and who knows how it will react to being prodded.
I could maybe lick your wounds. That's what we do.
Oh,
No.
that right. Likely not necessary. Although I do appreciate it. Of course.
Oh, I know. Well, if something does go wrong, maybe I can use some of the magic I use for mending things.
Hmm.
It's worth a shot. However, tell you what. I'm going to cast the Identifier spell on it. And as I do, Blackstone, do you mind just keeping a watch on my mind? Noticing if I get into trouble, if I get distressed. I might not show it outwardly otherwise.
Sure. At the very least, I would know what to look for.
Deodora.
Wait a minute. You know something? I just considered. You might not be able to cast healing magic, but I know who could.
Well, who's that then?
Well, never mind. Let's hope that I don't have to ask. But if we do have to ask, it should be amusing.
Certainly. Right.
What?
Deodora, dear.
Yes.
In the light of in the absence of a better failsafe, you said there was another tree like this one.
Yes.
Identical?
Yes?
Yes.
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 If Blackstone lets you know that I'm in trouble here, and I'm not able to break the connection, you may absolutely smash the tree.
I get my maul out.
Figured it would be a task to your liking.
I mean, I can't do this magic stuff, so I've just kind of been, I know where my skills are.
And we adore you for them, dear. And so that's when Cal says, "All right, well, nothing left but to do it." Pulls out the pearl and places his hand on. How tall did we say this thing was?
It's not tall.
It's like a foot.
Yeah, it's
like
Okay,
a foot
so
and
he's
a
just
half.
gonna place his hand at where the crest of the willow is, and he will start chanting Ahen, 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 and as he says it faster, the pearl starts to leave his hand and starts orbiting. It's gonna take him 10 minutes to do this, but he's gonna stay in concentration over this.
It orbits as the pearl moves around, inspecting almost every cut of gem that's on the tree. After a long silence, save for your breaths in the chamber, you feel nothing. It's just a piece of artwork. It hasn't been impacted in the way the items were upstairs. It's just you pick up the gems that are used to make this creation, but that's about it. You're not hearing any deep voices. Nothing.
Not imbued with any magic, no magical properties at all.
No.
Okay, wow. All right. Well, as the ritual ends and the pearl returns to Cal's hand, it's art. It's skillful work, but work of artisans, not mages, as far as I can tell. But it would appear to just be Decoration. Why is that oddly
Does
more
yours-
unsettling than finding something in it?
Does your spell tell you whether or not this item is a living thing?
I'll just give it to you based off of that. There's no semblance. There was no mind connection to it. So, let me put it this way, Cal.
Mm-hmm.
If this object, which looking at it would have fit one of the boxes upstairs, has not been impacted by this magic, what does that tell you?
I think Theodora kind of like perks up, which I'm like because when Cal says this is just a piece of art, it's sort of linking back to what Sarah said, and then linking back to their earlier discovery of the other boxes with the wands. This is a trick. They're trying to start a war, or something between this place and where this tree came from. Because if it was delivered with all those other things, they would think it came from there.
Well, giving a gift before attacking is a solid tactic that's been used before. But either it's a trick, a gift to lull them into opening the other boxes and delving in, or
It's like hunting when you put out a trap for a rabbit to step in. You weaken it, and then you can strike.
But the wands weren't living either, and they were touched by the magic. The books aren't living, and they were touched by the magic. It seems this magic infects things, whether they're living or not. But this one's immune. Or some other way different, unappealing. I don't know. The magic doesn't want it, the magic can't touch it, but it's too ordinary to be ordinary. In a place where everything else is extraordinary, there's something very unsettling about an ordinary tree here.
You send somebody something that is normal, and they don't think that anything is wrong with the other things that you send them.
Well, maybe, but these things were taken to a room aside, right? And not in the room that we found them in boxes with similar labels. I don't think the people who sent these trees want a war, but someone certainly might, and try to swap out the wands for these trees.
They were in another room. Blacksmith, you just said it. They were in another room from the boxes. Is that right? He's looking at Theodora.
They were in his room, as you points to the dead Minotaur.
Then it's not that they're immune to it. They just didn't have a chance to get to him yet. They weren't ready for shipment. Whatever they were doing, they were planning to do to these next.
Can Sareth walk in?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to say, I was going to say, should we go back to the room that Sareth is in and investigate it?
Theodora was gonna run to get Sareth because she needs help at this point.
At this point, yes.
Sareth would have investigated the room a little bit more while Theodora was gone.
Sure.
But then once Theodora didn't come immediately back, which is what Sareth assumed was gonna happen. Sareth is gonna be
you find another 20 gold underneath the
Hey.
cot.
Sareth pockets that.
And a loose stone which has several letters that are wrapped up in coil. I'm just going to tell you that now, based upon your passive perception, your passive investigation, and you being in that room long enough, I'm just going to give that to you already.
Okay.
So several letters that are wrapped up look like they may need to be sent, or maybe they were received. It's kind of hard to tell.
Okay. Sarah is gonna wait to unwrap those. And once they kind of go over the room as much as possible, and Diodora hasn't returned, Sarah is gonna go join everybody.
Go ahead.
I
I would
think
say at
Sarah
that
would-
point of Cal saying that, that's when Seraph comes in.
Right. So
Um,
it
Hello there, Sarah.
Oh, hi.
Oh, right. We should probably catch up on things. We're trying to figure out what the nature of this tree is and why it is here, unaffected by things.
Did you identify it?
It's a tree. It's a tree made of gems. It's not hasn't been touched by magic. If it previously had magic, it doesn't now. And the best we can figure is this is all a trap. This is all a trick to play upon the schools, and they had not gotten to the step of cursing this item.
Sarah, what condition did you find this in?
What do you mean by condition?
Well, how did you find it? Was it in a box? Was there a special seal on the box? Were there labels on the box? Did it come with a ledger? Was anything written on it? Signed by anyone?
No, we broke in. Diodora had a key, and so we used that key to unlock a door, which was somebody's room. And
How convenient. I would like more keys.
These were, this one and the other one were on a bench with a bunch of papers and stuff like that.
Papers? What kind of papers?
Well, to anyone that wasn't paying attention, they would have just looked like ordinary papers. But some stuff had been written on the paper above it, and wherever that paper is now, I don't know, but I was able to lift the indentation from the writing, and what had been written on the paper before said that these trees need to be delivered to Asteria and Lyros, and that another shipment is being expected from the Genora wetlands in 2 days.
Hold. Did you say that you did not find these in a box?
No, they were just out on the bench
Well, I
in a
believe
locked
that
room.
I do believe that might confirm at least one of the theories that I have about what's happening here.
But so they're expecting another shipment in 2 days. Why they're shipping stuff from the Genora wetlands to here is either terrifying or confusing.
Well,
But they also had, Jordan, would you call it like, is it a code? Was it like a star
It was basically
chart
a cipher.
note?
You would
A cipher?
Yeah, you would know it. Just having looked at many constellations, at many calendars as well for when lunar eclipses happen or solar eclipses. It's in a pretty common script for it.
Okay. And there was also a cipher that I was able to decode because it was written in astrological terms, we'll say. That 2 days from now, at sunset, Was it just something was gonna happen?
It
Well,
didn't say what. It just said sunset 2 days.
In 2 days.
Yep.
Okay. Which, if I remember correctly, the end of the harvest festival is ending in 2 days. And then they also have another shipment coming in 2 days. Something's going down.
well, that was the reason why I asked you about finding things in a box was very important. Because if we remember, on our way down here, we ran into a room full of boxes, and there were
Right.
2 of them that were distinctly to those 2 destinations. That were
Right.
filled with wands and not with crystal trees. But you have found 2 crystal trees that were meant to be sent to both of those places. So at the very least, we know that someone intercepted these and swapped out boxes that people were expecting to arrive.
Right. So I kept looking around the room while I was waiting on Diodora to come back. And I don't know if it's anything actually, but I found this rock with some letters. And so I figured that I'd open them when I got here.
Oh.
Maybe they have more of the information.
Well, may I see the rock?
Yeah, and Sereth will hand over the rock. Is the rock like wrapped in the letters, or is it
It's
like
not a
sitting
rock, so it's literally just a stack of letters that have been wrapped in twine. It's not a rock.
Oh, where did I get it was a
I
rock?
don't know.
Okay.
No,
You moved
You
it.
did mention that there was a stone.
Yes,
Oh,
she
moved
moved
a
the
paper.
stone to find these letters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was basically, think
like
of like in a house, like with the wooden floorboards. You
Right.
Got
lifted
it.
a stone that was loose. And
Got it.
That's
I
where it
absolutely
comes from.
heard there were letters wrapped.
Right.
in a
And I
stone.
didn't know
I
if
got
the
that
stone
too.
was like sitting on top of them and then like the
No,
twine
no,
was
no.
holding it all. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So
All on the same
I
page.
passed the notes over to Blackstone.
Can I have a short rest while they're all talking? Because Deodora's like,
Yes,
I don't care.
at this
I
point,
mean, she cares,
all
but
of
it's
you
like,
have taken
I-
a short rest. At this point,
Dope.
yes.
Okay, so
I will say this though, for the
Mhm.
sake of timing, because a lot has happened in a single day. You all can feel that this is starting to push later in the night. If you continue, you're gonna push a point of exhaustion if you continue. So,
well, I can study this. I can study this overnight if you would like. Hi, I don't need to sleep. It's
Oh.
me, that person.
But all right, we should. We should.
But if I mean, there's cults and stuff here. If we killed everybody, then
we don't know if we killed everybody.
we don't know if
We killed the
anyone's
people who
coming
were
back
here.
either.
from the number of beds that Diodora and Sereth saw to how many people we killed,
Mhm.
is it about
Yeah.
the same number of beds?
it is.
Okay.
Let me clarify what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
We killed the people who were staying here, but we don't know who else is involved in this, and so we have not
Right.
killed everybody, and they might show up.
The standing guard might be dealt with, but there could be, reserves on their way. We should definitely stay at least until Aurea returns with the delegation from the schools.
Well, let me see if there is a means to deal with this. One moment.
But I suggest if we do camp out for the night, should certainly set a watch.
At this point, you do get a message, Blackstone, from Deidre, stating that it's very short. You can tell she's distracted and moving about quickly based off of the information that you've given her. Aurea is going to rest here for the night. I would recommend taking what evidence down that you can. I'm calling for the other schools to be on guard. Are you okay? Essentially.
I think there would be telltale signs at this point, and everybody would know what they are. But Blackstone's eyes go from their normal shade of blue to purple. Well, the good news is, in spite of things, I am okay. I think you have read the letter and know enough about what happened here. So I do have some supplemental information for you. We found these. And then I show her the crystal trees. Were you expecting these?
I was expecting one for the ceremony for the Harvest Festival itself. It's been delayed, but that was the only thing that I've been anticipating at this time.
Well, there are apparently 2 of these, one for each of the schools, and there is some secondary item, and we're not sure why, but they're due to arrive in 2 days at the end of the festival, I believe, at sundown.
I don't think that part was tied to, if that part is tied together, I don't think we've pieced that together. It was just, there's another shipment coming in 2 days, and then there's also this date and time.
I'm just like, the thing is, I don't necessarily know those things, but I'm absolutely going to say them.
Sure.
Yeah, Blackstone's making that connection, whether it's accurate.
Sure.
Fair.
I am not sure if this is related to what we found down here, but that is another very interesting thing that we discovered while we're here.
Yes.
And we are also very concerned that someone would very much like to start some very deep amount of trouble, but we are not sure why.
Understood. It would probably be best for all of you to get out of there now, because we don't know what else might be dealing with, and at this point, this might take some higher magics and council to look into.
Oh, well, there might be reinforcements. Oh, right. We're not supposed to be excited about these. I think that might be decidedly unpleasant.
Most likely.
Okay, well, then I will inform the others that we should leave at once.
Cal can't hear that conversation happening at all, correct?
No.
Yeah.
You can tell basically Blackstone when they are using that telepathic link to speak to somebody else. It's like you're on hold. Unless Blackstone chooses to open it up and add you in as a third caller to this conference call. So
Get in the group chat, yeah.
Yeah, to group chat. So no, that would be Blackstone would immediately be putting up that kind of veil. So you have some nice little music waiting until Blackstone reestablishes that link.
Nah, Cal would have just been waiting. If Cal picks up that he's in the middle of a conversation, he would have waited.
Okay, well, where should we just head back to Astera then?
I would say at this point, just because I've doubled the guard, you might be best to stay in town. At this point, people are getting rowdy, Crownsguard are moving about. We don't know who else might be connected to this. And it might look suspicious if you head right from there back to the school. It could leave us open.
Okay. Understood. We will do our very best.
There is an inn. I've made contact with the owners there that is in town, because most of the inns and taverns are bought out because of the festival. What I would recommend doing is heading back in and heading towards... Where did I write it? Oh god. Heading towards the River's End.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And, well, good luck, I suppose.
We'll talk in the morning. Be safe.
And my eyes are blue. So, well, I have good news. These trees were what they were expecting. However, we should leave. We should leave, and apparently, we should not stay here in any of their sleeping quarters.
Okay.
Why not?
Well, they are, there is a concern, much like the one that we had earlier, that other people might arrive to check on the state of things here, and it would not be in our favor for them to find us.
Of course. I'm still...
However, there was an inn that the headmaster got in contact with, and we can take our rest there.
Right.
Guards at the school have been doubled, and communications have gone out to the other schools to make them aware of the situation that we're in.
And
I think it would be safe to assume that some of that council would be dealing with this, and I just gesture at the crystal behind us.
right, that's the part that concerns me most. I'm worried we'd only be leaving it sleeping.
Well, it would
Leaving it
better...
unattended, unguarded, could lead it to...
It would be
more
better
trouble.
asleep than awake, but if the effort it took to get here and have this encounter as any indicator, someone would have to know it was here and make intentional effort to get here.
There's also nothing we can do about it.
You're right. DM...
Yes.
Actually, before I ask the DM, and where's this inn that the professors arranged for us?
It's the Rivers Inn. I believe I would know where that is.
I was about to say, does Sereth?
Yeah.
Did we decide? Does Sereth live in Ilopan?
That's up to you. Do you think Sereth, originated
I thought we had said
there?
that Sereth knew more about Ilopan than the rest of us.
They've been there for a while.
Yeah, Sereth has been in.
You've heard of
Right.
it. It's not. It's about
Right.
like a 10-15 minute walk away from the tea leaves.
Okay. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, does Sereth have a fairly permanent residence here?
Do you think that they would?
Probably.
Okay.
I feel like Sereth is here a lot.
Okay.
So, because
That's an option then. You can choose to go to the inn. You can choose to go to the tavern. There's pros and cons to each, but it's ultimately up to you what you all decide to do.
Of course.
the observatory that Sereth works at is here in Ilopan.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, Sereth is a permanent resident of Ilopan.
I think at this point,
Yeah.
Theodora is starting to get cagey because she's been indoors for way too fucking long and is like, can we, like, doing that thing where it's like people are talking but you're like inching your way to the
Yep.
door.
Right.
Like,
How far from here, from right where we're standing, is the inn? He would be asking. He's asking Sereth, but I'm guessing that's going to be a question that gets bounced up to the DM.
Yeah.
It's about 15 minutes. Whereas the observatory would be about 30 because it's
From-
up
Okay.
on the north. It's closer to the colleges.
Got it.
If the inn is closer to where we are right now, closer to this room, DM, would that be about I've got a spell that will alert me to anything happening in this room or to something triggering the spell
Sure.
if I'm in a mile from it. Am I
Yes.
close enough?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Well then, did you find any other exits to this chamber? Or is there only one way in, one way out?
any other means.
Just those other 3 rooms.
So in order to get back to this room, someone would have to take the same route we did.
Mm.
Probably.
All right, or at least presumably. Fair. All right, so I'm gonna place the spell of detection on our way out. And if we stay at the inn, I should be close enough to know if someone comes back here before we do.
Mhm.
But you're right. Sorry, I'm sorting exhausted. It's It's been too much of a day. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
My mind is scattered. So, yes, to the inn, to the river run, and if you bear with me for a moment, I'm going to set an alarm by the door before we leave.
Okay.
And right. So I guess, are we all moving out?
Deodora's out.
Yeah.
Deodora's gone.
Theodora is power walking.
Yep. Right.
Deodora hit the Irish goodbye so hard. the second they were like, okay, we should go sleep. Deodora's like,
Theodora has left the party. Like,
yeah.
it just kind of
Deodora has left the group chat.
As for leaving, I go, didn't you say there were 2 of these?
Yes.
Should we retrieve the other one?
I mean, it's on our way out.
Because, failing everything else, if they find this other tree and decide to send it, that would be a problem.
That's fair. Blackstone, are you fairly strong?
No, that's not what my model was made for, but I can attempt.
Well, then that might be the problem. Because Deodora can't comfortably carry both.
Yeah, I tried. I call back.
Can you still do well, I'm not sure what it was, but it was very helpful in dealing with my interactions with that crystal earlier.
The
guidance spell.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how Sarah would phrase being like the guidance spell. Yeah, I can lend some magical help.
Okay. Then I will do my very best, and I walk over to the tree and the other remaining tree, try to pick it up.
Okay.
Are we
Jordan,
taking both?
how much would you say the trees weigh?
I mean, it's solid stone and crystals, so they do have a weight to them. So probably about 30 to 40 pounds, give or take.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're big
Mage
weighty.
hand can't help.
I have a 19 on that roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Struggle a bit, but you're able to carry. It's very heavy. So
Are we taking both the trees?
Yes.
I think so,
You
yeah.
Have to call Deodora back to come get that other tree.
No, that's why. Well, wait. No, I am what I'm thinking here is there's the one tree that you already brought into this room.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I
So-
put it down. Is that the one
okay.
that you're taking? Or are you
No.
taking the other one?
The other
right.
one.
So
Okay,
what I'm
so you
saying
went
is
back
you'll have
in
to
the
call
hallway
Deodora
and-
back
Yeah.
to come get the other tree.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna figure out how this works. Hold on.
Sorry,
right.
the first tree.
So
I would imagine that
I would just ask if, okay, so leaving the room, hey Deodora, would you mind bringing this tree along?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. Out of that room,
Then you go in the
into
hole.
room 2,
Yeah.
pick
and
up
you go
second
pick
tree.
it up. Yeah,
Got it.
there you go.
Do I need to roll again, or does my previous
No, I'm gonna
roll?
hold that
Okay.
from the last time. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
Blackstone struggles, but I pick mine up
Yeah,
real easy.
No problem.
And
I'm strong.
as soon as everyone's up into the hallway that's going to take us back to the surface and everything, would you call the place where that hallway ends and enters all the rooms that we've been in tonight? Would that be bigger than 20-foot cube or about that?
It's about that.
Okay, so then that's right where that hallway, where the entry hallway ends and into all the rooms beyond. That's where Cal will cast alarm, and he'll bring out his spell book, lay it on the floor and gonna need a hand here, Drix. Oh, Cal, how are you now? Fine, and you? Oh, not so bad. Fair enough. Good stuff. All right, now we're gonna need an alarm. Can we put? What would you think? What would you think would work for the entryway here? You didn't want to choose the door. No, of course not. The door's too obvious. People check doors. People see a door and they get suspicious. It needs to be somewhere that would just be walking through and normally. Oh, fine. The hallway then. Right. Have you thought of a web? Would a web work? I suppose we could use a web. Web's fine enough. All right, then let's get to work. And so you see like the little hologram of Drix and Cal as they're casting, as they do the ritual cast for alarm. And at the end of it, Cal seems to be working his way up one side of the hall. Drix is working his way up the other, casting the ritual. All right, you got your side over there, then Drix. Oh, never mind me. Did you finish, Slowpoke? Fine. Yes, we're done here. All right, then ready? Ready when you are. And they both plug in. And as soon as they do, the weave that Cal's magic produces just stretches across from end to end and connects in the middle, and like this web that glows for a moment, slightly fades away.
Love that.
I love watching you talk to yourself. It's amazing.
It is a talent
It is a
of
talent.
mine.
Okay.
See, loner kids grow up to do something good too.
Yeah.
Loner kids grow up and they learn skills. But anyways, so that the web of the weave is there. It fades away. All right. So if anyone breaks the web here, I should know.
Can I ask about your alarm? This is out of character, but I kind of want to
Yeah,
ask
of course.
about your alarm. When the alarm, if the alarm is set off, would Drix just pop out of the book and just start yelling a lot,
Ah!
or
I
like
feel
do like pops out and does like marimba, just like loud, just alarm?
I feel like you're gonna have to find out.
Yep.
Okay.
I hope the alarm gets triggered.
I feel like, you see, you're acting like I plan all of these spells out in advance. The majority of them come into form like 30 seconds before.
Never would
What?
have guessed that.
The words he uses, yes, I do research, but what it looks like beforehand, no. 30 seconds before I cast that spell, that's when I figure out what it's gonna look like.
Amazing.
But yeah, so we'll have to see what the alarm looks like. But he did choose mental alarm
Yes.
instead
got it.
of audible.
Okay. And you are heading out
Mhm.
the way you came. Okay.
Certainly.
All right. When you emerge from the caverns beneath Ilopan, the night air, which is crisp and has just a hint of coldness to the air as fall is just around the corner, greets all of you. You smell the smoke of dying fires around the caravans that are nearby. All three of the moons are out, as well as the stars on this crystal clear night. It's pushing about 10 or 11 in the evening as you all make your way past the caravans back through the entrance of Ilopan.
Make him away.
Thank you. You immediately notice that many of the stores that were open before have shut down for the night. You pass by the Tea Leaves, which is closed. You see several of the flower helpers kind of passed out in the window, drooping, just asleep for the time being. About 12 blocks away from the Tea Leaves, along the riverside of the city, is the River's Inn. It's a tavern that is 3-story building, that is lit up and does have a fair bit of noise coming out of it. As you all enter the main area, immediately the smells of roasted pork, hot apple cider, caramelized apples, shepherd's pie, chicken, and more assault your senses. There's a large hearth to the right that has 5 skewers set up that are slowly roasting chicken, lamb, and pork. What is also unique about the bar is that on either side of the hearth, there are two kind of boxes that are poking out of the wall. And there is a steady trickle of water that is feeding into these little trenches that go along the tavern walls to the different tables and booths, following all the way back towards the bar itself. Behind the bar, you see a fire genasi and a water genasi. The fire genasi is a large male looking to be in his mid to late 40s, about 6'5" with ashen skin like coals on a fire. He is holding a pan of what appears to be kernels that begin to pop after several moments. He has a fiery mustache that bristles as he works, humming a tune. Next to him is a medium-sized water genasi who is floating around him as he works. She has ombre hair that goes from a seafoam white to a dark blue. Every now and then she pats the fire genasi's arm and steam rises up, which you see him actually scoop with some kind of mason jar and immediately dump it onto what looks to be a fillet of salmon that's on the grill as he's cooking. Hi. Sorry, Salem has made his way. He heard fish and immediately came running. But you all are welcomed in to come on in and get some food. There's a number of tables. She kind of hasn't quite taken stock of you yet, just because they're...
Is everything okay?
Is everything okay?
He just knocked my dice everywhere.
Oh.
Oh, he's
my
got
God.
the dice and not like...
So an NPC has just dropped like a tray of things that they were putting away for the evening at the local tavern, and you hear their cries of frustration from behind the building.
It's not a glass that broke, but considering D4s, it might as well be.
In my mind, it was more like a Greek
those are gonna be fun
party
to
where
find
like
those
the
metal
glass...
D4s later. Why?
In my mind, it was more like a Greek party where someone broke a plate, and I'm just waiting to hear an "Opa!"
Opa!
Nope, sorry about that, y'all. That would be my cat and wanting to come to the tavern.
That lovely little goblin.
Salem's drunk, I think. I think
Yes.
Salem's been at the tavern this whole time.
Drunk on the immense power he wields.
That and all the liquor that he drinks on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. But you all have found your way into the Rivers Inn. There are a number of tables that are open. It's still lively, although not as lively as some of the bars that you passed on your way to this place. You can sense that probably Deidre was trying to send you someplace that you can get some rest and not have an assault on your senses in terms of that, but still a public place that, you know, is a little bit safer than going to a private abode. But you all can find tables. Where would you sit? Would you sit close to the hearth? Would you sit on the outskirts? Where would you all go?
And that stream is going to...
It's going to
all the tables, right?
all the tables. It's
Okay.
literally like a miniature river that's going through the tavern itself.
Well, Deidre is not the kind of person who would like willingly have her back to a room, so
Sure.
she would want to be against a wall.
Okay.
She's also very interested in like this little stream that's going through, and like unless somebody stops her, she's probably just gonna dunk her face in it.
I mean,
and take a drink.
Totally fine. We'll say that you head towards where the hearth is at, and there's actually like a booth right next to the hearth where you can actually better see the water coming out of the spigot, so to speak, and going around the bar. The water tastes clean. You see the couple kind of moving around the bar itself, but just above it on a landing, all of you would notice, because they rolled very poorly, there are two small genasi kind of just peeking out from the stairwell to the second floor, which seems to be the living quarters of this tavern inn. You see a what appears to be a fire genasi girl of about 7, and a water genasi boy of about 9. And they're kind of watching everything happen. And they kind of clasp their hands real quick. And all of a sudden you see this light orb kind of appear in front of them, as water and fire are kind of commingling together. And they just kind of throw it, and it goes towards where the elder fire genasi is behind the bar cooking up something. And without even looking, the water genasi stretches her arm, and this plume of water catches this ball of energy. Nice try. Get to bed or I'm gonna send you elsewhere. And you hear like giggling as they wander off to bed. Eventually she kind of just drops this hardened stone into, you all can see it's a wastebasket that has a ton of these. They clearly have done this trick many times. But she kind of wipes her hands off real quick and smooths down her hair, which is still moving like waves on the ocean, as she slowly makes her way over to all of you. All right there. You look a sight for sore eyes. Think you need some food?
Yes, please.
All right. What?
I'm assuming that most of them will. I think I would like some.
Okay. All right. And she kind of holds out her hands real quick, and this icicle appears of menus that she quickly hands to each of you. And there are a list of ales, everything from a light ale to more of a fruity to the shady, hollow kind of ales that are well known in the area, are a staple as well. The food ranges from shepherd's pie to roasted chicken with herbs and lemon, to salted pork. There's a ton of stuff that you all can choose from that's here.
Theodora gets handed the menu and realizes, oh shit, Oria's not here.
They're all picturized too.
Oh,
you do see that there are pictures on the menu.
Yes.
For those that may not be literacy refined in terms of that. So there are a number of pictures as you're kind of going through, and the pictures are actually moving across this ice as the water is kind of collecting from the heat and kind of forming into these different intricate items that you can get on the menu.
You know something, Cal? I still have yet to ever get used to this. I have to, at some point, pretend to eat or drink things, mostly so that I don't stick out as much when I travel places. But I have no need of these things. It seems somewhat wasteful, except for feeding Corbin, who I'm sure has had a very long day.
Then I say get Corbin something nice. And little trick, just move the food around your plate. No one has to be watching you actually eat it, but just move it around your plate, and
Crumble it up a little bit.
between Corbin and myself, we can make it disappear.
But you pretend to eat.
Well, how do I say this? It's not that the experience of eating food bad, but I don't think it feels for me the same way that it feels for you, which is, in a lot of cases, very deeply satisfying.
Oh, it can be, of course.
I guess I don't understand why you would just lie. I don't pretend I can read.
Right. But you see there,
how do I say this? So, hey, Theodora, you see this? And I just tap on my mask here.
Theodora's unfazed.
Well, I didn't always have this, but they sent me here to a headmaster along with this because, well, people finding out how particular I was drew a lot of attention that had some thankfully minor but unfortunate consequences. There aren't a lot of people like me in the world, and that means I spend a lot of time hiding.
You do hunt, do you, Deodora?
Yes, I'm great at it.
Right. And do you know how some creatures, they can... They have pelts that appear to be a different creatures.
Camouflage.
So they appear to not be hunted. Yeah, in a very different way, persons such as Blackstone can be hunted by some. And so he would prefer to wear a pelt of a non-prey creature.
I absorb this information, and then I looked at Blackstone, and it's very, my expression is very sincere. I'm like, if somebody hunts you, I will kill them. And then I turn to the water genasi and just start pointing at the pictures of the food that I want. Like without missing a step, just like, so, I'll just kill your enemies and boop, boop, boop. I want
Yeah, you see she's been waiting patiently, kind of appears to be used to this kind of discourse happening at tavern.
She's like, goddamn adventurers.
Fully like
what the
used
fuck?
to it. But she still has a very pleasant smile about her. What would you point at on the menu?
I mean, you listed a lot of things. They all fell out of my brain, so I...
Shepherd's pie, roasted beef, like pork, chicken.
Definitely like a roast beef.
Okay.
Probably mostly meat stuff, but she will, like, Oria has been telling her to eat more vegetables, so she'll get some more vegetables.
Sure.
Like maybe the shepherd's pie, because that seems interesting, and I mean, she likes sheep, so she assumes it's just sheep.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you don't mind me putting something on the menu,
Go
like
for
maybe
it.
like a plate of oxtails. That'd be good, like stewed oxtails. Yeah. And then just like she'll just keep drinking water.
Love that. All right. That looks pleasant.
I'd have a water deer, and a
She
and a
just
shepherd's-
points it at the trench by you.
My
Oh, right.
with Deodora's face like just deep in it.
All right.
It's clean.
That's
It goes through a system and we clean it out, so it is quite clean.
right. Then I'd just have a pie and maybe just a bit of whiskey, just a short pour, please.
Okay. Do you want a light or a darker kind of whiskey?
Oh, we'll take the darker ones.
Darker? All right. All right. And question two: are you all going to be staying here for the night? Do you need some rooms?
Oh, right. Blackstone, did you say that Deidre had made arrangements ahead of time?
Yes, we were sent here by the recommendation of Headmaster Wardington.
Ah. All right. So it's on Wardington's tab, is it? Is it the rooms and the food, or did you work something out to pay separately?
Well, I'm sure we could cover our meal then.
Okay.
No use in the headmaster paying for everything.
All right. We have a suite upstairs for you. It's a main room, and then each of you have your own rooms. It's the last one, so
Thank you.
we'll be comfortable. And I'll get started on that. What would you like, dear? And she looks over at you, Sereth. And there are vegetarian options, and it's not just purely meat-based, if that's what you are kind of grappling with. There are definitely some salads, there's some pescatarian options, vegan.
Yeah, Sareth would go more towards like something a bit more pescatarian, some salmon or whatever, and like a salad.
Sure. So you'll get the, it's on the menu listed as the Kraken salad, which is just basically shrimp Caesar salad.
Oh yeah, that. It's like you made that for me.
I think as like there's this talk about, you know, paying for the meals and stuff, Theodora one thinks of like the money that she's sort of like handed
Sitting
Oria.
on.
Like she has money of her own, but she's like, again, this is another situation. It's like, oh, Oria's not here. Okay. And then she'll like turn to Sereth and say, can you tell me how much these things cost? And like she'll point out what she ordered on the menu and then like basically just hand you her money so you can give her the right amount to pay for the meal.
Actually, how about your Minotaur friend pays for dinner tonight. And Sereth will pull out the gold that they found in the room.
Beefy's room.
That's
Yeah.
my friend.
It's a
It is one of those things that people say when they don't necessarily mean that thing. Sarcasm, I think, is the word that they used.
yes. Pretty much. But more because
It's humorous because this person is not your friend. And we know
And
that
he's
very
dead.
specifically.
and he's dead.
Dead.
And I found his money and he's going to pay for our dinner.
Oh, he had more money?
Oh yeah. I found like 20 gold on him. Or in his room. So
You know, what does seem to be very curious around here is this exchange of money. Who's paying for all of this?
Right?
Oh.
There was Crown's Guard in the works, and if they were carrying that much money on them, then either they just got paid or they were needing to keep paying people.
well, how much did you find on the big beefy Minotaur?
Out of character, it was 50 gold. In character, Deodora's like, I just handed a sack of gold to Oria. I have no idea.
So 50 gold, and then I found another 20 in his room? That's a lot. This is a well-funded operation.
Right. Can I just get the rest of your order?
Can I please
Oh,
have, can I please have a plate of lettuce and cheese?
Sure.
Also, what is your favorite meat on the menu?
Well, honestly, it depends on my mood.
Okay, well, how about a meat of the day?
Meat of the day. Amazing. Honestly,
Hashtag my name in high school.
get out of here. God damn it, Finn. Honestly, you can't go wrong with the lamb chops.
Okay, then I will try the lamb chops.
Okay. All right.
I have learned that I do like the experience of what chewing on meat textures is like. The textures are very interesting.
Sure. She
It's-
kind of like.
Is anyone listening to I'm saying most of this in telepathy form? Is she just like, hey, why not?
Yeah.
We're just here.
Honestly, like, given the conversation you were plainly having about going through someone's stuff and having 50 gold, plus
I
whatever
didn't
it
realize she was still
Oh, yeah,
standing
she
there.
did not leave. She was still standing there. She had not left.
I feel like
This
that
is-
wouldn't have been something Sereth would have said in front of her. Would have waited until
Nope,
she
it's
left.
canon, she's
But I
still
think it's-
there.
okay.
But I think it's funnier that she just happened to be there. And I just go, Well, if you're going to have to listen to all of this while taking our orders, there's a giant angry crystal. It tried to kill us all. It possessed a bunch of people, and it would have exploded if we would have broken it.
Right. The water
but-
is free. You might want to drink some. She just kind of slowly walks away, just kind of giving you a look.
She is 100% a vibe. Like, I don't care. Just tell me what you want.
It's just like it's an Uber driver. Just where are we going? I'm like I know. It's okay. Where are we
She's
going?
either gonna brush it all off, or like she's gonna create so many problems for us.
She's just gonna brush it all off, or she's gonna snitch. But I feel like she doesn't have snitch energy.
Or she's gonna be just a conspiracy theorist.
And as she exits your area and heads back to the kitchen, that's where we're gonna end for today. With her just giving you that look of, okay.
Like, oh, these are the people. Like I said, these are the people this school is sending to my place. Right.
By the way, she's just like this. I do not.
Oh boy.
Why did I work spring break?
Why did I work spring break? Duval, hello. Hi everybody. Sorry, I was dipping in and out because if you may have heard, Salem decided he wanted to join the tavern party and knocked over all of my dice. So I was trying to pick them up because I could hear him trying to play, if not tried to eat them. So I was trying to quickly grab them before we had an incident. But this was a ton of fun, y'all. The RP today was so strong. I had so much fun just sitting back and just watching you all trying to connect the dots. In some cases, just mashing those puzzle pieces that clearly don't fit together, and then some of them connecting. So it does sound like my son, Duval. You were not wrong. This was an incredible job, y'all. So fantastic. We're gonna get out of here. We'll hopefully have our friend April back next week. I can hear the weather is picking up here too, so it's been amazing. The episodes, if you would like, because we did get a number of new folks here. Hi, hello. If you would like to catch up on our episodes, they're available on Twitch as well as on our YouTube, AmpistranoDND. So go give it a check out, and we'll be back here next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with another episode of Ampistrano. Does anyone have anything else they want to plug real quick before we get out of here?
I need us to take a long rest. That way I can bring Bash back out.
For sure. I think that's, incoming.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to gently nudge you to leave. So you could go have a long rest somewhere more comfortable. But amazing job, y'all. I'm so proud of everybody here. We're gonna get out of here.
Who we raiding?
We're gonna head over to Carry On Comfort Studios. They're eating some chicken nuggets and watching Twilight. So
Okay.
Right, the nugget challenge. I remember
it's the
the
nugget
tweet about that
challenge.
one.
So we're gonna head over there and give our love and support as they are doing that. I will say too, because I know Duval's in chat, but I would be plugging this regardless because April is part of it. Fables aired last night on Carry On Comfort Studios, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's gonna be on every Friday for the next few weeks, so I highly suggest you go and check that out and support. And they're incredible. But we're gonna head over there, y'all. Thank you so much for today. I'm so excited. Y'all are getting in it.
Yeah.
All the good things. Thank you so much. Go take a rest, and we'll see you beyond the veil. Bye, y'all.